The Joe Rogan Experience.
I wanted to get back to something you said earlier. You said the way restaurants were before the Food Network.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
You know, I think Food Network and food shows in general are a great thing. You know, it empowers people to cook, and there's all different levels. And I think it's the greatest thing. And also has given us as chefs a platform to do some incredible things too. But there was a different type of motivation between the cooks in the kitchen and a good number of the cooks today. So before, you know, there wasn't celebrity involved. So you were there for the reason, for the love, the art of it. Whereas nowadays, I'm not going to say everybody because I cook with, and I know there's plenty of people that are very serious about it. It's about the craft, the putting in the hours, the repetition that doesn't make sense until all of a sudden you're doing something without thinking about it. And that's what it was like really before. Everybody was in the kitchen was there because they loved cooking, not for any reason of celebrity or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So it really did change good, you know, patience. Like, so people, like the progression would be like, oh, you work as a line cook for 3 to 4 years, and then, you know, you're a sous chef for a number of years, and then you're a chef, and, you know, there was a progression. And then when the whole thing came along, and then everybody was like, from culinary school to chef. You know, they wanted to jump right into it.
And do you think there's a significant number of people that are actually getting into cooking to become famous?
There's something about it, yeah. There's an allure. I mean, it has a thing. I don't know, not the term famous is a little bit different. I'd say like notoriety. In other words, they're like ready to show, like, hey, I can do this. But with cooking, there's a certain number of hours you cannot avoid. You have to put this in. You have to have the knife in your hand for thousands and thousands of hours before you really are starting to cook. Because it's easy to do a dish, but it's difficult to do a dish and to cook, you know, consistently with all the different things getting thrown at you, like this coronavirus thing. Like, okay, how do you adapt? How are you resilient? You know, how can you bounce back? How do you understand, like, no matter what, I'm going to get this dish up at 9 o'clock if that customer wants it at 9 o'clock, not anything else?
Well, I think we're rapidly moving towards opening up the country. It's going to happen extremely fast over the next few weeks. So, yeah. So something that would be helpful just to add from an informational level is when reporting sort of COVID cases, to separate out diagnosed with COVID versus had COVID-like symptoms.
Yes.
Because the list of symptoms that could be COVID at this point is like a mile long. So it's like hard to, if you're ill at all, it's like it could be COVID. So just to give people better information. Definitely diagnosed with COVID or had COVID-like symptoms. We're conflating those two so that it looks bigger than it is. Then if somebody dies, was COVID a primary cause of the death or not? I mean, if somebody has COVID, gets eaten by a shark, we find their arm has COVID, it's going to get recorded as a COVID death.
Is that real?
I mean, basically,
not that bad, but heart attacks, strokes.
You get hit by a bus.
Cancer.
If you get hit by a bus, go to the hospital and die, and they find that you have COVID, you will be recorded as a COVID death.
Why would they do that, though?
Well, right now, so the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I mean, it's mostly paved with bad intentions, but there's some good intention paving stones in there too. And the stimulus bill that was intended to help with the hospitals that were being overrun with COVID patients created an incentive to record something as COVID that is difficult to say no to, especially if your hospital is going bankrupt for lack of other patients. So the hospitals are in a bind right now. There's a bunch of hospitals they're furloughing doctors, as you were mentioning. If your hospital's half full, it's hard to make ends meet. So now you've got if I just check this box, I get $8,000. put them on a ventilator for 5 minutes, I get $39,000. Or I got to fire some doctors. So this is a tough moral quandary. It's like, what you can do?
So nice to be semi-normal again.
Yes, for fucking sure.
The restrictions are supposed to be lifting up here in Los Angeles on Friday, which means nothing for us, for comedians. It means something for like some retail, some other stuff, but they're doing it nice and slow. And did you see the list of shit that the governor's office put out of stuff you're allowed to do?
Mm-mm.
You should pull that up, Jamie, because it's quite hilarious. First of all, it's kind of condescending. It's like treating you like you're a moron. Like, here's things you're allowed to do. One of them that I thought that was hilarious, it said soft martial arts. Yeah, it said Tai Chi. This is you're allowed to do this outside.
Oh, no.
Soft martial arts.
No.
Like, why can't you shadow box? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Or it's only okay if you do things that don't work? Like, you're saying martial art. Or that's an art of war, right? And Tai Chi is... It's much more of a meditation than it is an art of war. I think it's very beneficial. But like, look what it says: athletics, number 1. What does that mean? Badminton, singles, throwing a ball, a baseball, softball. Stop. Here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
If you're throwing a baseball, you're basically shaking hands.
Yep.
And you're doing it with an organic skin, right? Baseball, the outside of it is cow skin.
You could throw a ball by yourself, but
But that's not what they're saying,
know, yeah.
right?
That's just sad.
Are you gonna throw it and go? Just throw it and go pick it up.
Throwing fly
again.
balls to yourself in the park.
BMX biking. Okay, thank you. You're allowed to canoe singles.
Oh.
Like it specifies.
What's-
singles?
Are they talking about crabbing like crab walk?
No, like catching crabs. You can go crabbing like fishing. No, that's what it means.
Oh.
Yeah, you can go crabbing.
people do it all the time.
Oh yeah, in California, not here, but
Right.
in Northern California, it's a
Okay,
big deal. Yeah, I've done it before. You catch blue crabs. I think they are. I think they're blue. I don't know what species they are, but you catch them off the piers. Like there's a lot of areas around San Francisco where people catch crabs. It's really big in like Maryland and those guys love crabbing. Oh, in Alaska too, they do a lot of
I know
crabbing.
it's a thing. It was just a California list. That's why I was like, I didn't.
They must
didn't
have
know.
them. I mean, the ocean's right here. Gardening, not in groups. Oh, you can explore rock pools. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Where can we do that at?
Malibu, but you can't get to the beach. It's closed. Cycling, golf, singles, walking, no cart, Tony.
Oh, my gosh.
You can't have a cart. Why can't I have a cart? What if it's my cart? I can't take the cart? It's
Why wouldn't-
electric. It
why
doesn't
can't-
even hurt the environment. Like, why can't I take the cart?
Yeah, or why can't they clean it? Wipe
Is
it
there
down.
a logic to that? Let's stop. I mean, if it's your cart, is there a logic to that? And how is it any different than the cart at the supermarket? Like, that motherfucker's getting passed around like a cheap hoe. But that lady, that new press secretary, she's
When
a
you
fucking
sent me
gangster.
that video, dude,
She's a gangster. Have you seen that video?
you've never
Jamie?
seen someone more prepared for a question in your life, Jamie.
Have you seen that? You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
Small point on that, not the big point, but small point. She was so prepared for
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she's supposed to be prepared.
That's why I
Jamie.
said you've never seen someone
You know
more
why?
prepared.
For that-
they're
for that
prepared.
specific question,
Yes,
though.
Yeah.
because they're prepared. And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that fucking Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video. Play that video.
like
You don't
Leonardo
even like
DiCaprio.
it. You're on the other side.
No. I was saying.
Oh,
it
you're a
almost
Biden guy.
No, hey, listen.
like he is.
Before everyone jumps in, I almost was saying that it almost seems like she was working with that reporter to say, "Hey, feed me this so I can shit on everybody."
Nah, that guy got because
That
that guy was
doesn't happen?
that guy was yelling. He was like, "No,
Wait, hold
you
on,
were ready
hold
for
on,
this."
Hold on. What do you just
He
say?
he served her up a softball so she could fucking fire off the machine gun.
No,
I don't
no,
think so.
no,
Doesn't
he
happen?
didn't. That's not what he did at all.
That guy
he tried to
sucks.
play gotcha with her. Do you want to take your word back? Because she said that Trump is not going to let the coronavirus come into the country. And what she's saying, the reason why they're shutting down of travel from Asia is because they're worried about the coronavirus coming into the country, and Trump's not going to let that happen. So they tried to take what she said and take it out of context or frame it
Make
in
her
a
look
way
bad.
while she was saying that Trump is not going to let the country get infected by the coronavirus. What she's trying to say is that he's not going to have free travel where people have coronavirus because it's going to bring the virus in. Not that it's the only way the virus is going to get here. The virus got here anyway.
She came with the fire
the guy
regardless,
said,
Jamie.
Are you going to take that back?
I
The guy,
didn't say she didn't.
First of all, it's a douchey question. Like
All those
are you gonna
journalists are
take
kind of douchebags in the first
It's,
place.
they're trying so hard to have these moments where they fucking play got ya.
But when do these journalists quit being journalists and become like fucking trolls off Reddit? Like some of their questions to Trump. That's why Trump goes so hard in the paint on them.
I know, but he goes too hard. The problem
He
is
cares
like,
too much.
He cares too much.
He cares too much about what they think.
A lion should not be so concerned about the opinion of sheep.
Correct.
And that's
Preach.
it's not becoming of someone who's in such a powerful position.
You're the president, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's a fucking writer for
The way she handled it, though, oh my God, she just dropped a fucking.
It was
It's
sexy.
like
It was
Wile E.
sexy.
Wile E. Coyote with the TNT. Boom.
She's like, "You ready? You want to do it now?"
Yeah. And then she had a big smile and walked off as they're trying to say. And he's like, "You prepared for that?"
Yeah, she went, "Thank you. Have a good day."
Oh, gee, you think she prepared for it with all those stats that she read right in front of you?